Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Born with a Controller. I am here today with the lovely Casey Firehead.
Hello, it's me, hello.
It's her, everybody. Look at this glory. Look at this lovely elf person here.
I'm an elf.
She's an elf. How you doing today? Happy Sunday to you. Thank you for being here.
Sunday. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we gotta share your story as well. Oh, come on now. But how are you feeling? How's everything though?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. It's gonna be a good day.
Oh, yes, it is. All the energy is immaculate right now. So, Crazy, as always, we like to start things off with your first gaming memory. It could be from when you were a toddler to a child. What was the first memory of gaming do you have?
Oh man. Okay, so I grew up in South America, right? And I had like my own little like game room, even though my parents like are gamers and they had like consoles and stuff. And I had like one of the really old PCs, like way back in the day, right? You feel me? Like floppy disk level PC. Way back in my day when we had floppy disks.
There's a floppies.
And there's this one game. There's a YouTube video about it, but there's this one game. It's the Pink Panther Passport to Payroll. That's the name of it.
You went really old school with that one.
Yeah. That's like my OG like first game I ever remember playing. And I remember like the Egypt part of it. I could never do on my own. I could never finish it, and I had to get like my nanny to come in there and be like, I'll do it. It was just that one part though. It was never any other part in the thing. It was just the Egypt one.
I can see your nanny right now rolling up her sleeves like, step aside, I got this.
Yeah, she's like, we don't want you crying right now. I don't know, I was like maybe like 5. She was like, no, we're not doing that.
So you can handle every other mission but that Egypt one.
Yo, the Egypt one was the hardest one, I swear.
Like, what made it so hard? Like, I'm actually curious right now.
I was terrified of so a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean the game came out in the 90s, so at this point I don't know if it counts. But there's this one part that like a mummy hand just like plops out of the sand and just sits there the entire time. And it was like one part that you had to go to, like you had to go past that to talk to someone that you like is the whole mission, right? Mm-hmm. So I literally hated going past it because it would freak me out. Jeez. Fast forward, 20 years and I'm an archaeology major. But it was so hard.
You went from pixel sands to real sands.
I still hate it. I still hate the sand.
I think most people do. They don't want that in their toes.
It's so gross.
I could imagine. Geez, especially seeing a mummy hand just going flap, flap.
Dude, it was like so weird. It literally would just like sit there like that the entire time. It was just like the sand level was like right there. I hated it. It was so gross.
It's definitely funny when you think about what used to scare us as kids and versus now. Like, I was really scared of that. Are you serious? Like, come on.
Yeah. Like now I'm thinking back and I'm like, how was that scary? It didn't even move. It literally would just sit there the entire time.
Like, I think my situation was the Unsolved Mysteries theme song. I used to be scared of it all the time.
I
used to hold my ears all the time, just like, But now I'm just like... Alright, so... Follow-up question to that. Were you always a player 1, or did you have siblings that made you be player 2?
Oh, I'm an only child.
Oh,
hello.
Okay.
No siblings.
Spoiler alert!
No siblings. My parents did play though, so I guess that was my player 1. My parents.
Oh, okay, so they just had you on the side. Did they do the tricky I unplugged the controller so you wouldn't bug us situation?
No.
Okay,
no,
so
they were never, because they wanted me to learn how to play.
Oh, that's
so I guess that like worked out. Yeah.
Full on support in gaming. I love it. Jesus.
Yeah. Even to this day, they still play. It's pretty great.
Hey, that's what's up. Shoot. So what would you say, what game did you feel made a big impact on your life?
Bro. Big impact.
That's
a
deep question, yeah. It's a deep question.
I would say Mario 64.
Explain.
Right? So like the OG one, right? Not the like the DS one or the Switch one or none of that. No. We're talking the OG Nintendo one.
Really?
And yeah, that was the first game that I ever like really played on my own.
Mm-hmm.
That my parents were like, just go. And that was like the first console game I ever played on my own. That was like, do it.
So it was like a rite of passage.
Yeah, and it was like the first rage game ever too. Like that was the first one that I ever like truly just pure rage growing inside little baby Carol.
What part caused this rage? I'm actually curious.
Yo, it was two parts. I'll never forget it because to this day, they still like made just pure angry.
Gotcha.
But it was the penguin race in the ice level.
Yeah.
Bro, I hated it so much. Like to this day, I'm just like, listen. The stupid penguin race in Mario 64 is the worst fucking thing to ever exist on this planet. I hated it. It's just like still pure rage inside of me, just growing thinking about it. That one and the water level. Because I would always drown. I couldn't ever get past it. Yeah, it was such a pain.
Honestly, I had a lot of fun with it, especially when you got the turbo turtle, when it's like a propeller and you had to swim around with the turtle shell. Well, that was fun.
Right, and you would think that would be fun. And like to me, it was just like pure anger.
So let me guess, did you also take the penguin and just throw him off the freaking edge?
Absolutely. 100%.
Ah, so that's what a rage
100%.
That's what a rage.
I wasn't allowed to throw the controllers. I would throw the penguins and the turtles off instead.
Oh my god. Right. So pretty much, was it Mario 64 that made you feel like you was born to be a gamer, or was there another game that you just completely conquered and just felt like, yes, I'm gonna be excellent in the digital world?
It was definitely Mario 64. I feel like Mario 64 will forever hold like a special place in my heart.
Aww.
Like forever. It's just like that was the one moment that I was like, I was meant to play video. 100%.
Okay. So, depending on the situation, were you part of the Civil War back in the day with gamers? Did you have
gamers?
Like, did you have a particular franchise that you was totally hell bent on? Like, you would fight for this like you would fight the
Mario.
country. Oh, so
yo, Mario, 100%. Yeah,
so
no, people that are like Mario's better than Zelda, no, f off.
Oh, so you had an internal Civil War.
Yeah, no, it was bad. My mom, she despises Zelda, and my dad loves Zelda, and it's like one of those moments where we're like, no.
You know what? I never thought about it that way. Because usually back in the day, it was like Sega versus Nintendo, or Sega versus Nintendo versus PlayStation. But you had an internal Nintendo war.
Yeah, it was bad. Because, like, so I was actually talking about this at work the other day. My dad plays Xbox, right? Yeah. He mains Xbox. And my mom has always mained PlayStation.
Uh-oh.
Like, since the very beginning of time, she has always mained PlayStation. And I have always gravitated towards, like, either Nintendo or PC. That's been, like, my two main, like, systems.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in a household that I was lucky enough to not have like different system, different company like war, but it was definitely like franchises were like the one thing we like each other over. It was bad.
I still want somebody to make a movie about that because I still remember my battle scars from back in the day with the Civil War. It was still fun.
Yo, I got real lucky.
Family members versus family members and everything like that is crazy. But I'm glad that you just had that issue where somebody said Zelda could beat Mario and you was like,
Yeah, no. Absolutely not. No.
Oh my god, I never thought about
I get canceled on the internet for saying Zelda's not as good as Mario.
Well, technically speaking, you have a way to actually end that argument with Smash Brothers.
I mean, you know. As long as I'm not the one playing, I feel like it should be fine.
So this is going to get a little bit deep on this one. So what struggles did you face being a gamer, whether it was within the community or your personal life?
So I guess both is a good way to go into it. Personally, I'm the only like in my close relative family, right? So like my mom, her siblings, their kids. I'm the only one that plays video games and is like quote unquote nerdy. So I was very outcasted growing up, and even to this day I'm still very outcasted. I'm very much like black sheep of the family, like she's weird, we don't really like talk about it kind of thing. And everybody else is like really into sports and they were very popular in school and like, you know, they're super fit and like they're conventionally like what everybody wants to be. And I'm not. And growing up in a Hispanic household, it's very difficult because, like, in America, it's not much of a thing, I think, anymore. That like the popular kids are cool and like all that stuff. Nobody cares anymore, right? But like in South America, that's very much a thing. If you're considered weird, you're not like you're outcasted like within the community and within your family. And that was really rough. And I was very thankful to have parents that were also kind of outcasted. So it kind of worked out where we kind of had each other. But that was really tough. And then whenever we moved to the States, being a girl that games has been very difficult. And I know that's like the most cliche thing to say, but like to this day, even like working where I work and all this stuff, right? Like it's still like very prominent in my life.
Yeah.
That like being a girl who is relatively good at games and also like knows what she's talking about is still like super not okay. So
it's just an annoying double-edged sword at the time because it's like, why are you still asking this question at 2022? That you're just people surprised that you're not, that you're a gamer. Like, what?
Right. And it's so dumb because, like, being a girl on Twitch and everything who doesn't have her titties out, right? Like, I like to think I dress very conservative for a female on Twitch. And, like, it's really weird because I do feel like if maybe one day I do pop a titty out, like maybe, just maybe, like I'll get better views. But at the same time, it's the whole like I want to fight the system because the cliche is so dumb that like you have to be like super like exposed and like really dumb and like not know what you're talking about to be able to make it as a female in the gaming world. I think that's so dumb. And it just like drives me more to like not be that person. You know what I mean? Like even when I did tournaments, it was like that. Like I wanted to be that girl that like beat everybody in whatever I was playing. Cause like no, like I can be a girl and I can be a gamer. Like it's fine.
Exactly. Fight the power, dude.
Right? The norm. Heck yeah.
Do that.
Screw the patriarchy.
Exactly. Anarchy. Every time I say that, I keep on thinking about that scene where the kid was like screaming around anarchy, and his little brother's like, I don't know what it means, but I like it.
That's literally me. Anytime anybody says anything I don't understand, I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Oh my god. So what made you want to continue despite those challenges? What drove you to keep going?
I think it's just like every little interaction I've had with guys that think that they're better than me because they're gamers. Literally, that's just like the true drive inside of me is just to be like, I hate you. That's really truly just like the pure rage inside of me is what it is. Like I've had so many, like, I'll tell you a story. Like I've had a couple instances at tournaments that like, because let's say like when I did Smash Bros, right? When I used to tournament Smash Bros, I would main Kirby. And like the joke is that Kirby is a very female-oriented game because he's cute and he's round and he's pink. And always the joke, and they're like, you only play him because you can like float around and not hit anybody. And I was like, no, it's because you can't hit me. That's the goal. The goal is to outlive you because you're dumb and you're fighting everybody else. So once you get everybody else out and you're the last person standing, I will beat you up. Called choose your battles. That's how that works. And like I will be honest and say like I didn't win a lot of tournaments for Smash, like 100%. Like I wasn't the best player in the world. But just like the fact that I could make it to that very last like 2 players on the map, like absolutely that was enough for me. Like I would do it. And like that to this day is like the truest drive. Like whenever I have customers come in and they're like, oh, do you know about this and that? Like of course I do. Why? Because I know things. I have a brain. Contrary to what you believe that female gamers don't have brains, I have brain.
Yeah, big brain. Yeah, big brain.
big brain, many winkle, more than one brain cell. That is me.
And that's what's up. Shoot, anybody said that Kirby is just any dude that doesn't admit they like Kirby is a sucker. I'll tell you right now, Kirby is the vibe. Alright?
He's he's OP as heck and nobody knows about it. Because everybody just kind of shrugs him off.
I was a Meta Knight user though. That's my thing. That was my
Yo, Meta Knight is badass. I will agree with that. Meta Knight is badass. For sure.
So, yeah, with that being said, how do you feel about gaming now versus the past? Do you feel the progression is getting better, or is it like kind of a struggle between a little bit of the same, a little bit of more?
I feel like it's getting a lot better now. Like, I know that easily 10 years ago when I was in high school, gaming was so much more difficult. Like, whether it be the game itself or whether it be like the communities within the gaming world. Like, it was so difficult to just like make it, period. It doesn't matter if you were a girl, a boy, if you were 10 or 20, if you were, it didn't matter. Yeah. It was really hard to just like be within the community. And I feel like now it's becoming a little bit more accepting. There's a lot of stuff and there's still a lot of people that are like very stuck in their ways, and it is what it is. But like, I feel like it's so much better now. Like, never in my life did I think that I would be a part of a Twitch community. Never in my life. And never did I think that I would be working at a store where I get to like talk about video games all day.
See, now you haven't said now it's part of your life. You making money off of it in a way. It's lovely.
Yeah.
That's the balance that we all wish we could have,
Right. Just become the video game.
So what kind of gateway has gaming done for you? What other things besides gaming that inspired you to play something else, or get involved with other things?
Definitely the people I've met have taught me to like open up my doors to other stuff. I think that has been a blessing, whether it be through Twitch or whether it be through like actual like in-person events that I've gone to, or like stupid tournaments for random stuff that I've gone to that were just like in somebody's backyard, or like just goofing off, like stuff like that. I feel like has been a lot. And even in like my personal life, gaming has opened up the ability to grow my resume, which never did I think that 1 and 2 would go together, like that to me was just like, what?
You'd be surprised what kind of wording you can get away with when it comes to your resume.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I try really hard not to lie on my resume. But at the same time, like the way that I said I know everything about everything. Hey, by the way, I'm a Twitch streamer. They were like, "Bet, you want assistant manager?" And I was like, "Bet, let's go."
Let's go. Now, I understand that we also do another thing together that involves these little orbs.
Pretty plastic make clicky clacky sounds.
Now, would you say that came before gaming, or was D&D a thing after gaming?
I've always been interested in D&D. Ever since we moved, because in South America, it's not a thing. Like, I don't think I've ever met anyone that plays it in South America. And whenever we moved to the States, my friends would talk about it and they would play and like all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've always been interested in it. I've never been brave enough to like just jump into a campaign or like a session, let alone DM one, even though I'm planning on doing one soon. Shameless plug. But like, right. So I've never thought about it. And then, in college, I was lucky enough to kind of like join a couple of campaigns, kind of like a one-off, kind of like just like an NPC. But technically it's a PC because I'm playing the NPC. And
that's true.
That was a lot of fun. And then, obviously with COVID and everything, it became really difficult to like keep it going. Like I did a bunch of one-shots here and there and stuff like that in college. And then now I'm in a campaign with you and we're having so much fun. Kills me. Next campaign round kills me.
We will never know until we find out, because our miraculous DM has been pretty nice to us lately.
Yo. He's too nice to us, I feel like. Considering how much crap we get away with.
Yeah, I feel like we're playing on easy mode and he's just... I'm waiting for the shoe to drop one day. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Yo, we're gonna like have a day that is just like non-stop combat.
Like, we just drop into a den and it's just these big ass uber mini dragons coming to kill us.
Yo, I'm ready. Let's go.
What has been your favorite character through the D&D sessions though?
It's gonna sound super biased, but Neri is definitely my favorite character. I feel like she's 100% the most character, like the character that I put in the most love into. And I absolutely love her to death. If she were to die, I don't know what I would do with myself. Like, I don't know. It's more of like I don't know what I would build after her. You know what I mean? Because like I just love her so much.
Jeez. Well, we gotta help her get more healing items for us though. Jesus Christ.
Yo, no kidding. Like, it's the way I have like 3 healing spells, 2 spell slots, and no potions on me. And I'm over here like, I'm the party healer, bro.
Oh my
I'm stressing.
You ready for a stress question though?
I'm ready for a stress question. I love those.
Alright. You had an unlimited budget, right?
Oh my gosh.
So this is your budget. You got an unlimited budget. They gave you a blank check. What company you making a game for, and what game would it be?
What? Wait, what was the first part?
What company would you make a game for, and what game would it be? What style?
I feel like it would definitely be like a PS, like a PlayStation game, 100%, just for the graphics alone.
Really?
And then it would definitely be an RPG. Like if I were to make a game, it'd be something very reminiscent of like The Witcher, for sure.
Okay.
If the Elfiers don't give it away, but yeah, like it would definitely be like a super fantasy RPG, like high fantasy, like combat heavy. Like, let's go.
Follow-up question then: why the Witcher style?
I never played The Witcher until the last like 3 years. Fun fact. I didn't know anything about The Witcher until about 2-3 years ago.
Okay, I mean,
I didn't even know it existed. Like that's where we're at. Didn't even know it existed. Didn't know what it was. Didn't care for it. I was like, whatever. I was like heavily into like WoW. I was heavily into like Assassin's Creed, and I had never in my life heard of The Witcher. And my old roommate was like, "No, you need to play this game. You'd love it. It's like right up your alley. It'd be like your favorite thing." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." I tried it, fell in love with it. 100% fell in love with it. And like, I'm one of those people that has obsessive personality that like, if I find something that I love, it's like all in 100%. I will, yeah, no, like full rabbit hole, like all the merch, all the stuff. But personality changes because of the game, like 100%. And like, I absolutely fell in love with The Witcher, and I love the story. I love the characters. I love the complexity of it. I love the battle style because I'm not and you know this, like I'm not a battle heavy person. I don't like fighting. And like I like the fighting style in the game. I like that it's you can be a tank and you can be a magic wielder, and it works out, and it's really cool. And like you can have both of those at your disposal without having to like pick one or the other. Because in Skyrim you kind of have to pick one or the other. You don't really get both. So I really love that about The Witcher, and like the whole like me being a history student and like loving mythology and stuff, like getting to see all these like monsters that I learned about in school and like through reading has just been like, it's so cool. Like I just love that game so much. I could go for hours on about it, but it's such a good game.
So do you think Henry Cavill did a good job playing as The Witcher?
I think he did an excellent job. I think the writers could have done better. Especially no spoilers because like you know season 2 just came out recently, but like I feel like season 2 could have been stronger. Following up season 1.
Yeah.
I think the cast, like all of them, did an excellent job. I think portraying their characters, they did great. It's a good show. It's beautifully done. It's cinematically stunning.
Okay.
But no, that season 2, I'll join the sheep crowd and be like, nah, it sucked.
Wow.
But it wasn't like horrible. Like I would watch it again and again and again and enjoy it.
Okay.
But as a Witcher fan, I definitely can agree that like they're not staying true to the story, which is disappointing.
That's understandable. So to follow with that, since The Witcher 4 has been announced, what are your expectations for that one?
I'm crying. I'm crying from happiness and I'm crying from fear because I feel like the rumor, from what I'm hearing, I don't know if you know, but like the rumor is that it's not going to follow Geralt, and it's supposedly going to be Ciri, and it's going to be reminiscent of The Witcher 3 and all this stuff. And I feel like if they stay true to the feeling of The Witcher 3, the game is going to be successful because you're fighting the nostalgia of the game and the books versus the nostalgia of the TV show. And at that point, you kind of gotta find your middle ground. Ciri is an excellent character. I hope that they do her justice. And I'm gonna play it. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. I'll definitely buy it and play it and enjoy it. But I don't know if I would be the one to be like, get the game. It's a great game. It's gonna be fantastic because it's The Witcher. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that because I know how like sequels work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it's years, so they got a lot to the standard is pretty freaking high at this point.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we'll see. I'm excited either way, but like when you sent me that message that they announced it, I was like, oh.
You gotta get
I was like, no.
straight.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta call out. I can't. I'm emotionally unstable.
Don't hurt my baby. Don't hurt my baby.
Yeah, I was freaking out a little bit, but we'll see. I have hope.
Well, because I'm hearing a lot of people talking about like some people are excited, some people are worried because the simple fact is that they're saying that Siri is kind of OP in the series, and I'm like, what's wrong with that? That's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you playing a powerful character is actually something nice and new to do in a video game. All you have to do is just give her more difficult enemies to face off against. But I don't think having a super powerful character to play as is not going to be a problem.
I feel like what they should do with the new Witcher game is not necessarily claim it to be the next game in the series, but make it more of like a spin-off, kind of like they did with Uncharted and The Lost Legacy. It wasn't necessarily a sequel, it was more of a spin-off. And I feel like that's what they should be saying, rather than saying like, oh, this is the next Witcher game. Like, okay, cool. But, the standard with Siri is, in fact, true. Like, she's very OP.
Yeah.
Regardless of what scenario you're looking at her, whether it be the show, the books, the games, like, she's ridiculous. And if they weaken her up just for the sake of the video game, that's not going to do very well. So
that's gonna piss off a lot of people, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's gonna be a big no-no. I feel like they should definitely leave her as is. But I mean, I'm curious to see the story from her perspective. I know that in The Witcher 3 I loved playing as her. I think that she's an excellent character, and she's hot. So but
that needs not to be questioned ever, but
yeah, no, she's great. I love her. I'm worried. I think that's my biggest concern, like to see Siri as the main character and see how they're gonna like set her up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Because you can't start with a level 100 character in the beginning of the game. That's not how that works. But then if you do, then that's kind of, if you don't, that's kind of setting her up to be not herself.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind that, because like I said, you just have to have kind of the same level of enemies when you start off anyway.
Right. So I would hope that they would set up the enemies to be more up to her skill level, rather than dumbing her down for the sake of the enemy and the sake of the starter of the game. But I would also love to see maybe a storyline where she has to control her chaos and have to control her magic wielding, and that would be really cool to watch. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they'll do. I'm keeping a close eye on The Witcher and see what they're gonna do about it.
Okay. All right. So we go into a segue into what gaming icons did you admire? Like, who was your inspiration? My
inspiration. Let's see. You're talking about gaming characters? Is that what we're doing?
I mean,
or like just in general, like gaming world?
In the gaming world, like people that are influencers and stuff like that inspired you.
So, cheesy answer. And it's very biased, but I don't have anybody other than my Twitch family. You guys, like, I know, start crying now. Get the tissues. But like the Twitch family has been a huge inspiration for me, and the way that I like have adapted and grown as a full-time gamer, I would like to say, because it's not just Twitch, it's now my normal life, and I'm outside of my desk setup, and yeah, like I you guys teach me to not be kind, just be more than just like the kindness that I am, more into that, but also like push myself harder and like really follow the ambitions that I have and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I haven't really had any like gaming icons outside of you guys. I've been like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm trying to live that life. Like, no, never. I've never had that. Now, video game wise, character wise, that's a little different. But like in the real world, like, yeah, 100% you guys. Like, as cheesy as that is.
Nah, it's not cheesy. That's wholesome. We welcome you. I'm like the tough big brother.
Carol is a glass of whole milk.
Exactly. And I just try to make you a little bit tougher. That's all it is. Like, somebody comes in your face, I'm just like, you smack them. You bite their ankle if you have to.
Chuck a milk carton at them.
Exactly. Let me see your war face. Mind you, I'm over here like, oh.
And I'm over here like, meow.
It'll work. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Jesus. So
am I squishy?
This girl threatens to kick me in my shin every time. She is not squishy at all. Don't get it twisted. I will.
Let's be realistic. If I ever kicked you in the shin, I would hurt myself first.
This is also true. I think about that scene in Freakazoid where Hero Boy goes to fight Godzilla. He's like, and dude
literally
down, flicks him.
literally how it would go.
So who's your in-character inspiration?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so weird answer. Nancy Drew is a big one.
Okay, that's not weird.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the Nancy Drew games. Listen.
Keep in mind, I'm older than her, so shit. There was no video game.
No.
I had books.
Listen, you'd be surprised how many people don't know about the Nancy Drew gaming series. Like, you'd be surprised. No, I bring it up all the time, and nobody ever knows about it. Okay, you know about it, obviously. So, her in that gaming series is a huge inspiration.
Okay.
I love her determination. I love how, like, unapologetically herself she is.
Mm-hmm.
I love, and it's Nancy Drew, let's be realistic. That's always how she is. But I love how she still puts her friends and family first. And that's, like, always been a huge moral for me. And, like, I love it. Also, the games are phenomenal. If you haven't played them, they're on Steam. They're fantastic.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug for the Nancy Drew games. Her Interactive, hire me, thanks. Feel free to cut that out. But let's see who else. I feel like so not necessarily from the games, but like Misty is also a really like big influence for me. And like I guess the world.
Pokemon? I
know she's a pain in the butt. Yeah, she's a pain in the butt, but I love her to death.
It makes sense now.
Yeah. No, I love her. She's phenomenal. I love characters that are unapologetically themselves.
Makes sense, yeah.
I love characters that are like that. And I love that she's so like quote unquote tough. Let's be realistic, she's not. She's squishy.
Nah, she ain't squishy.
But she's a badass as hell, and she literally is here like kicking butt and like still being a great friend and everything, even though she does it in her own way, and I love that. I love that about her. And technically she is in a video game, technically. I think she's in, what is she? She's in I
think it was Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, I was like, I think she's in Yellow.
Yeah, because that was based off of the TV cartoon series, the anime.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
so technically she is a video game character. Technically.
All right. So, Damn, Carol, that's pretty. You know what? You the vibe. What would you like to say to today's future gamers? Like, what kind of inspirational words that you would want to give out there to them?
Definitely keep being you. Screw what everybody else says about whatever you want to do or whatever game you want to play. Screw that. Do whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to play Tetris and that's your main game, do it. If you want to play shooters, do it. If you want to play, like, pointing games, do it. If you want to play, like, big name games, like, do it. Who cares? If you want to play Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or PC, who cares? Do what you want. If you want to play D&D, if you want Magic Gathering, if you want to do whatever, it doesn't matter. Do what you want to do, and if it makes you happy, just do it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to find a community that supports you and is there for you, and, like, who cares what anybody else has to say?
I'm getting misty.
Yeah. You were interviewing me. You should know, just alone from, like, the motto of my stream, that it was going to get heavy. Like...
Nah, I got that. But thank you again for sitting with us. Everybody, this is KZ Firehead. You're going to have all the information down in the comments below, where to follow her, where to, stalk her, see her gaming inspirations, see everything that she does. Watch this woman. Keep in mind of that. All right, KZ, other than that, thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, being a pleasure. Everybody, if you want to be interviewed, hit me up, DM me on here. Please hit that like and follow button. Like I said, follow this girl everywhere she goes, because she's going to do awesome things. Do it now. Other than that, as always, beast out.